If you have watched any of my videos, you probably know that I am currently on a quest to hike all the trails in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park and become a member of the 900 Miler Club, which celebrates those who have achieved this goal. On this visit to the Sylvan Treasure, known as the Smoky Mountains, I chose an area that would end up being a bit more challenging than I had thought. The northern loop from the Cleanman's Dome or Kewohi area. From the parking lot, I went 0.7 on the Kewohi Bypass Trail, turning east at the AT for almost 0.5 miles, turning around and heading 2.3 miles and dropping over 1,000 feet on the AT, before losing 2,793 feet over 4.3 miles on the Goshen Prong Trail to reach campsite 23, Camp Creek, where I spent the night. On day 2, I finished the 3.2 miles of the meandering Goshen Prong Trail before turning southeast for 2.5 miles on the Little River Trail to its terminus at campsite 30, Three Forks. I immediately headed back the 1.8 miles I had just hiked and turned northeast for 2.8 miles on Rough Creek Trail, gaining 1,800 feet before turning south for 5 miles on the Sugarland Mountain Trail to reach the Cleanman's Dome Kewohi Road. I then headed the remaining 3.6 miles back to my car in the Cleanman's Dome Kewohi parking lot to complete a 19-plus mile day 2. This gave me a total for the hike of 27 miles with a cumulative ascent of just over 6,700 feet.
This is Graybeard for the Sylvan Reflections channel. And if the Ravens will let me get a word in edgewise, this is time for a nice big loop hike right in the center of the Smokies, all centered around Cleanman's Dome, or Kewohi that it's now called. So we are going to start here. We're going to start heading east to reach the AT here, as you just saw me mention. And it's been so wonderful to get out here again. I love this spruce fir forest. It's just gorgeous up at this altitude. Of course, we're going to be losing a lot of altitude today on our way down to the Little River, not into Three Forks campground. So it's going to be quite the hike. Oh, so pretty. All of those beautiful spruce. Unfortunately, not so many of the fir trees as the balsam woolly diligent has decimated. The young ones will land, they'll grow for a little bit, and then the diligents will find them. So they're under real pressure, except for a few places where they've been treated, where they can reach them to do that. So it's going to be a beautiful hike. Unfortunately, back on the other side of the coin here, due to all the stuff I had to get done before I could take off, only got about 3 hours sleep. So this is going to be a fun day, anywhere from 11 to 13 miles today. Oh, we have quite a few of the beautiful flower examples here. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, more. Tiny. It looks like jewelweed. Crimson bee balm. Hoping that it's folks in the right area. Wow. Can't forget the fern. Wow. Just a bonanza of flowers up here. Red clover. Some really cool phytochemicals in that one. You can see all the self-heal, just flowers upon flowers upon flowers. When somebody does a hike, usually one of the things they report on is how much weight they're carrying, especially if they're trying to go light. So this time, let's see, about 11.5 pounds in the pack, and then adding the 4 half-liter waters, a sandwich, some boiled eggs, some electronics, batteries. So we're probably getting close to 20 pounds, 18 to 20 pounds. It's not too bad. Yeah, not too bad, starting at 215. Now, this is where we're hitting the Forney Ridge Trail, so we're going to follow that on this direction, and it becomes the Kawohi Bypass Trail, so we will follow that on up until we hit, of course, the AT, at which point I'll duck back to the right to catch that little bit that I didn't do before, and then keep on going east after that. Well, we're going to take advantage of that at some point. And of course, already seeing some of that jagged leafed wild hydrangea mixed with some jewelweed. Oh, how pretty. Have another setback. Just tried to connect to my little Govee temperature data logger, and lo and behold, it's low on power. I don't see anywhere to put a battery in it. I'm gonna have to read up on it and see if I'm able to take it apart and replace a watch battery or whatever. But no temperature data for this trip. Just look out here. Isn't that beautiful, misty trail wandering off into the unknown? That sense of can be anything around the corner type of thing. What more fun can there be? Don't you just love that rounded, soft look of the spruce? And of course, even more examples of flowering plants. Sure enough, looks like the end of the bypass trail. In that case, we should be seeing the sign right up here. For the AT, sure enough. So what I'm going to do is head back 0.3 to the right to catch that little bit that I didn't have before, come back, and then we'll continue on. So let's cut back towards Clemens Dome, or Kawohi. Well, for my last couple of hikes, I think you know what that is. This is another one of those happy moments when we have a landmark that we've been looking forward to. All right. This means we are very close. This is Appalachian Trail going back this way. So we're going to follow it back to where I hiked on that newfound gap to Clemens Dome hike back in April. I'm going to hike back to that point, then head back the way I came. But this, you would take this and that'll drop you off onto the little paved trail that takes you up to the observation tower. Today, it's not worth going up there because it's so socked in, you're not going to see anything. So, I mean, you can see the clearing right there. It's within about 10, 15 feet, maybe or 20. But, like I say, seen that from the other side on that April hike. So now I'm going to stay on the trail proper, the AT, and go to that point where it branches off the trail on the other side to go to the observation tower. Should be right up here. Oh, wow. Look at these. That is just beyond beautiful, isn't it? Oh, neat, neat. Parallel leaves, all that. Yeah. Gorgeous. Here is where it branches off to the observation tower from the eastern side. So now, because this right here, that is the trail. That's the trail I took up to the tower on that April hike. So, time to head on back. All the white blazes of the AT, you can see them. Okay, and for any of my biology students, take a look at some of these. I'll probably ask you about it in class. Notice their size, and we'll talk about what could be responsible for that.
And here I am, commemorating yet another trail sign in the beautiful space under the canopy.
Okay, in terms of difficulty, this is great. I mean, it's all downhill from here. Don't know if you can see it in the camera, but you have the mist. The air is blowing and going up the side of the mountain from the left, coming up, blowing over onto the right. And the fog that it carries, you can actually follow the air current wafting up and over. Beautiful. Yet another trail intersection here. For this one, going to be intersection of the AT. Watch where I step here. And the Kauai Bypass Trail further on. It's the same one we came up in a previous one. So we'll just keep on heading the way we came, or heading towards our target here, which is campsite for Three Forks. Aha! Opens up a little bit here. Look at that. You can actually, sun's coming out just a little bit. You can see off into the distance there. The next range of a tree in bloom. Beautiful. Well, let's keep on keeping on.
At just the right time of day, the angle of the sunlight through the trees lets you see this beautiful dappled forest with its brilliant shafts of light. This bright orange fungus can dry out and then rehydrate with the rain. It's a parasite on yet another species of fungus that grows on the dead branches of broadleaf trees. Pretty cool stuff.
Okay, finally, it's 4:50. Boy, are we behind. There is some night hiking tonight, let me tell you. But one bit of good news, we have reached the point on the Appalachian Trail. Yes, we could go. Look at this. 2 miles and we'd be down to Welch Ridge Trail that I did on my last big hike. 2 miles to connect it. Anyway, we'll do that later. Right now, we are going to go on to Goshen Springs Prong Trail, head on down till we hit the Little River Trail in 7.6 miles. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. And that will take us to campsite, I think it's 25. Then we're going to, if we want, depending how much night hike we want to do, we might continue on and go all the way to Three Forks. And sure enough, Goshen turns out to be a little bit rock jumbly, just like most of the trails are that aren't main close to the road trails. Yeah, no surprise. Still pretty gorgeous area you get to hike through. Wow, that was about 15 feet of twist, pull yourself through a hole, check to see what you lost, pick it up, do another one of those for about 15 feet. That is a horrible blowdown. They've got to get that cleared at some point. Man, it would be awfully nice if it did get cleared. This one's kind of interesting. We're about maybe 2/3, 3/4 the way down. We have a really interesting little cave right there. Let me tell you, that upper 1/3 to 1/2 of Goshen Prong is anything but nice and easy. It is really choked in a lot of spots. There's some, you saw some of the blowdowns. There's about a dozen more, or almost a dozen more, that were about almost that bad. So it's a little shy of the best trail I've been on. It is 7:46. Oh man, that was kind of, it has been a rough trip down in some ways. But there are compensations. Like this one. All right. Ocean Prong, Little River Trail. Okay. Looks like, yeah, we are going to go this direction over here. There we go. All right, we'll go this way. It's going to run into Rough Creek, but we will hit our campsite before that. And I'll just set up camp here, get to sleep early, get up in the morning, do that out and back to Three Fork, and then pick up my stuff, pack it up, and go. So that way I'll get to do part of the trail with less weight. Oh, look how beautiful the lighting is. Soft. It's actually darker than it looks on the screen here. I no sooner shut off the video and I come across campsite 23. I don't know if you can see that there. Yes. So this is where we'll set up camp, get to bed early, and get an early start in the morning. That way it'll be like 11 and 11 or 11 and 12, something like that. Now there are people at this campsite, so I don't want to be too loud. But we'll see what we come up with. Yeah, this is it. Okay, not a bad campsite. I guess they haven't gotten here yet. Or maybe they decided not to come after all. Well, we'll find out one way or another. All right. I think I'm going to set up my hammock. Boy, where to do that? I think I'll set it up over here. Yeah, this is what we'll do. We'll set it up right over here. All right. Back in a bit. Oh, sorry for the eerie lighting, but we're about 4:30. We have a bit of a thunderstorm downpour. It's now tapering off a little bit. All kinds of lightning, still hear a little thunder. But fortunately, I'm at that first campsite here, and it's rather nice location, a lot of good tree cover. The only thing that's really fun to deal with is the lightning. It's bright enough that it, even with your eyes closed, you can't block it out. So it's a little hard to sleep but other than that, not bad. Now the lightning's kind of subsided, I'll probably get a little more sleep. Okay. As you saw, we had a bit of a thunderstorm during the night. It only lasted about 30-40 minutes of really hard, and the rest was just kind of just regular solid rain, and tapered off. But I was dry as a bone under there. Works great. I thought maybe I'd take the time here to have a little breakfast. It's about almost 8 o'clock. So have a little breakfast, sit back, enjoy, give the food time to digest a little bit. My hammock set up here. You can see it's not a huge tarp rainfly, but it's good enough. It's very pleasant. I'm finally have gotten the knack of tying this little I can get the thing to focus. It's called a wasp for the line that goes to the rainfly to get it to go around the tree. The way that it came originally, it had a line that went and connected right underneath here to the same thing, so I had just one connection spot. But when I changed out my suspension line here to this, if I can get it to show, you can see that beetle buckle system. It's much lighter than the cinch buckle. So when I did that, there went my anchor for the rainfly. So I had to get a new anchor for the rainfly system. And this one is lighter yet. Altogether, you're saving a fair bit of, quite a few ounces. Which doesn't sound like much. However, any ounce you don't have to carry is great. I'm then gonna go finish breakfast here real quick. Okay, it's getting on towards 9 o'clock here, and there's a change of plans. We are going to do the backpacking full setup. You can see them all packed up. The reason is, when I got in here last night, I was so tired. Remember, 4 or 5 hours of driving, and then 7 or 8 miles of hiking down and up some of the really steep stuff. I was wasted when I got here, just really tired. And I saw this, I'm right here next to the part that goes down to Three Forks. And then I said, you know what, I should check, and got up this morning and realized, oh, this is the earlier campsite, not the one I thought it was. Wouldn't have made any difference. I was tired, I was going to sleep here anyway, but it just means that I don't get to relax as much in the morning as I was planning on. So I got to get started now. Well, we might be able to make it across without getting feet wet. Boy, the rocks are slippery though. Oh yeah. We're good. Nothing like a freshly washed forest. The lovely, lovely rattlesnake plantain, sorry. And you can actually see some of the flowers. Awesome. Awesome. Look at all the little partridge berry. Oh, and there's one with an actual berry.
While there are so many things about the Smokies to love, I do believe that the water features, with their tumbling yet graceful flow, are a serious contender for being my favorite.
Look at the berries. You can see what's left from the blooms of the Indian cucumber. Here I am hiking along, and all of a sudden I see a nice little red splotch right in the middle of the trail. Yep, can't forget the club mosses, especially with this kind of lighting. Finish with that, come around the corner, and we have another welcome landmark event. Namely, we got to the big bridge. A lot of the websites actually give it a name. Oh, how nice. It's slippery, but beautiful. Oh, wow, is it slippery. Oh, this is gorgeous. Let me show you what I mean. Now that's a beautiful sight, isn't it? Imagine sitting in a camp chair, gazing out at the water flowing by. Nothing better. Wow, awesome. Little river, I believe. Of course, once you've done the bridge, you end up here at the trail crossing, the next intersection, which is the Little River Trail itself. So that's the end of Goshen Prong. And now we have a little bit to get to the campsite that I thought I was at yesterday. We have 0.7 to go to there. So let's head on there and get that 0.7 done. If I were to go this way, that would eventually bring me in towards Elkmont Campground in a number of miles. And I will catch that section a little bit later. There's a small section that I want to do back that direction. Meanwhile, we are on, as you can tell, an old logging road or something like that nature. But I don't mind those. They make nice, fairly level trails. Okay. Interesting. A little more substantial bridges than what I'm used to in the backcountry. Thank goodness we don't have to cross that. Just up this way here. Oh, look at these beautiful, beautiful flowers. Oh, I'm sorry. I can never skip the meadow rue. The leaves are just so pretty. Okay. Here, we've been about maybe 100 feet, 150 feet past where I hung up my backpack. Cutting off to the left is Rough Creek Trail. That's the one we're going to take on out of here to join Sugarland Mountain and head on back towards Cleman Dome or Coahee Road. But this is the rest of the Little River Trail. That's going to take us in 1.8 miles to campsite 30. Oh boy, so 2 miles, not 1 mile. So 4 miles round trip. We can do that in an hour and a half. I will be very happy because it's about 11:40 now, 12:40. So it'll be dark when I get to the top. Just look at what the day is turning out to be. After that thunderstorm last night, it is just cleaned right up. Everything's fresh and clean. Beautiful lighting. Beautiful creation the Lord has shared with us. Hey, hey. Doll's eye. Here's our second one. Such a bright red. Well, we have reached the campsite. We are within about 50 feet of the campsite, and that's as close as we're going to get. Because, as you can see here, you see the campsite, bottom left, and where we're at. That's about 50-some feet, and this is why. I do not have my creek shoes with me, and I'm not about to disrobe just so I can get over there. So we've made it. It's good enough. You look up there, you can actually see the little post with the number on it right there. So nice though that is, I think I'm just going to head on back after a quick rest. Well, we are finally back at the point where the Little River Trail meets the Rough Creek Trail that I need to take over here. That's the one we got to here. It's not recommended, but it's allowed. Okay, Rough Creek. So we're gonna have a fun time on Rough Creek, it sounds like. This is gonna be a long 2.8 miles, but that's behind us. I'm going this direction because, as you'll recall, I left my pack back here so I wouldn't have to carry it. Yeah.
At this point, I'm clarifying that after hiking down to the Three Forks campsite, then back to the trail junction, I will have to backtrack 1/10 of a mile back to campsite 24 to get my pack, then return that 1/10 of a mile before turning northeast on Rough Creek Trail.
3.6 miles without a pack on my back. I'd say it was worth it. We're gonna get some water, filter some water here, drink up, eat, and then hit the trail. You haven't seen much recording from me on the way up Rough Creek. That's because ever since I got back down from campsite 30, the Three Forks or whatever it's called, I picked up my backpack, and just as soon as I got back, it opened up and just downpour. And it's been that way for the past, it was good, that really heavy for half an hour, then it's tapered off, but just drizzling constantly, raining. And just now is let up enough that I can take the hood off of and maybe take a few pictures. Speaking of which, worked out just right because we have some really beautiful flowering plants, don't we? There are times that I really hate what the trails are like. This is one of them. It won't turn on, and I know it's got plenty of battery. So I may have just lost my camera. Good news is insurance will help with that. Bad news is, what insurance? So I just might not go backpacking for a while until I can save up enough to get another camera.
As you can see, the idea of losing my nice camera hits pretty hard. So bear with me for a few seconds, please.
The Smokies are beautiful, though. That doesn't make up for the camera, but it sure does help.
Here, I explained that I was climbing over a big blowdown tree blocking the trail when the limb I was stepping on broke, dropping me down onto yet another blowdown tree that gashed my forehead a bit and knocked the wireless mic from off of my pack to fall irretrievably down the mountainside.
Rough Creek Trail that we just came up. That cost me so much. Now we are on the Sugarland Trail. It has been forever since I've been on this trail. That is beautiful. So, not a lot more in the way of video. You'll probably see a little bit here and there, but not as much. And it's time for me to get some miles in, so I get to my car, get down, and properly treat that rather than just using the alcohol from the sanitation thing. You might have gathered, this trail is horrendously overgrown. This is going to take about twice to 3 times as much time to get on this section as if it were properly groomed or taken care of.
When the sun set, I still had about 3.5 miles left of the Sugarland Mountain Trail to complete. Due to the vegetation-choked, poor condition of the trail and other challenges, I ended up taking another 4 hours to reach the Kleeman's Dome or Koahi Road.
This one is the sign, Mount Collins Shelter. All right, that means we are within about 500 feet or so. Okay. We have reached the Appalachian Trail. Okay. Yeah, okay, so I think we'll go to the left, and then we're going to cut on over to the road for the rest of the fun here. Thought it would never come, but it's finally here. That is the Kleeman's Dome Road, or Koahi Road. So I'm going to head off that way to the parking lot for my car, which will be a while. So I'm just going to mosey along. Well, it's 2:30. It really took a while to walk road all the way back down to the parking lot. I tell you. Thank you for coming along on this hike with me. I sure do appreciate anyone who takes the time to watch it with me. This is Graybeard for the Sylvan Reflections channel. I'll see you in the next one.
If you like this video, please consider clicking the like, subscribe, and notification bell.